Hi there, this is Matt with State of Flux, here with a brief review and discussion of Anora. Anora just took home Best Picture, and this is one that I have a lot of thoughts on because, well, I liked the movie, I by no means loved it. Though I wasn't disappointed when it was announced as Best Picture, because at the end of the day, I do think it's a good movie with some pretty significant flaws that I would like to explore. For the positives, I think Mikey Madison is fantastic. She gives a real solid performance, as does pretty much everybody across the board in the film. It is an interesting story, not necessarily greatly written, but the story unfolds in such a unique and interesting way that I liked. The dramatic beats work, the comedic beats work. That stuff is all good. I think it is really well directed, and Sean Baker deserves his direction Oscar, and I think it's really tightly edited. For that, he deserves as well. Where I bump into the film is how women are represented, and the casual use of slurs that are bandied about in this film. One of which is used as sort of like a kind of meet-cute coda to a relationship in the film, and I really didn't like that aspect of it. I do believe that these kind of characters would probably casually use slurs the way they do. That said, if you have nobody in the film ever condemning it, it's kind of irresponsible filmmaking in this present day and present climate, especially to utilize them without concern, is where I really struggle with that. Especially when you're using the ass bitch line, the FAB, let's say, as that relationship coda. It just really doesn't gel well for me. I think that's meant to be a kind of punchline, and I'm going to get into spoiler territory here, so be mindful of that, and in fact I'm going to spoil pretty significantly right here. The assertion of that joke in that moment is that the only reason that guy didn't take advantage of her is because he's an F. And not 10 minutes later, when there's a reading of that ending where they're in mid-coitus and he's holding on to her pretty firmly and she's responding no, it very much reads as if that's the only way a male wouldn't take advantage of this woman. And I think that's a poor use of that word and a bad message to send in general. And speaking of bad messaging, I think women are written kind of poorly in this. And I'm not talking about the Anora character. She is written very well. She is completely believable, lived-in character. You believe fully that that person exists. I'm talking about how there are really only 4 to 5 female characters in this film, and 2 of them are friend characters that have no character themselves. They're just there to bounce dialogue off of so that Annie's not talking to herself. The other ones are all women pitted against each other, which is, I think, bad male writing. It is a belief, and a backward-ass one at that, that women can't be friends. They're there to be at odds. You have the ginger stripper character that is constantly fighting until they have an actual cat fight. And yes, it's not photographed to titillate, but that's all it's there for, is this build up to an explosive response between Annie and the ginger. And I just don't buy into that. From the experiences that I have seen, I have friends that work in the sex work community, and from what I have experienced with them, there is a unity and a like encouragement and an almost empowerment of women cheering each other on. This felt like forced male backward-ass thinking that takes us back. It's regressive, and I don't buy into that. The only other female character of any kind of prominence is the cartoonishly evil Russian mother character that looks like she was plucked out of the Pokemon universe with the Jessie James, that whole kind of energy about her, while having the character of like Ivan Drago, or the wife for that matter, in Rocky IV. It's just cartoonishly evil in a film that is otherwise relatively grounded. It reeks of bad writing for the female characters kind of on the whole. And then when you couple that with the fact that every single character is looking down at Anora's character throughout the entire thing, I don't think this is empowering to sex workers. I think this is kind of feeding into those negative stereotypes that have been always present. So when people are giving their Oscar speeches and stuff like that, I didn't get that reading from this. I wanted to, and I think there is a way to make movies where there's a powerful lean on the industry of sex work without condemnation, without belittling, as every single character seems to do in this film. Shy of the ones who are actively engaging with it until they pull back and continue the belittling treatment as well. I didn't love that, and these are important talking points. I don't think they make this movie a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. Similar to my discussion with Emilia Perez, I think these flaws are worth talking about. These are worthy talking points. What I do find weird is that film, which is also really well acted, well photographed, and has a story that kind of zigs and zags in an unusual or unconventional way. You have to admit, Emilia Perez is not a conventional film by any stretch of the imagination. It's Mrs. Doubtfire's gritty reboot, if anything. These two films have the same accolades that you could raise upon them, the quality of work represented within, but they also have the same flaws, which is poor representation of communities that they are filming, be it women or sex workers, be it the trans community in Mexico, or Mexicans, cartel life, whatever you want to talk. And yet, one of them we completely stripped away of any possible, feasible qualities that film itself might have. I'm not talking about the controversies that came out with Carla Sofia Gascon and its director and stuff, and maybe that's the dividing line, the difference. Yet this one is praised without discussion of these same flaws that this film has. I find that very hypocritical and whatnot. I think they're both of equal quality. I like both of them quite a bit. They are very good movies with very distinct flaws that are phenomenal to talk about and engage discussion. And that's what I would like to see with film criticism more. Not the stripping of quality or the complete non-acknowledgement of these flaws while still being able to say something is good. I hope you enjoyed my tirade. Let me know what you thought of Anora in the comments down below. It is a good movie. I think it is funny. I think the dramatic beats largely work. I think it had a perfect logical conclusion when he hands over the ring and she closes the door and looks at him dead in the eye, and it's this beautiful moment of shared sincerity. That is the ending of that film. What happens over the next 2 minutes is almost killed the entire movie for me, but I refused to let that ruin everything that had come, because I liked so much of it up until that point. But what did you think of the movie? Let me know in the comment area down below. What did you think of my criticisms? Do you feel that those are accurate criticisms, or do you take umbrage with them? Let me know that in the comment area down below. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.